In this video, we're going to download and install the firmware that we'll use on our offline signing device. First, we're going to download the SeedSigner firmware on our dedicated laptop. Then, we'll flash it with Balena Etcher onto the micro SD card that will then plug into the SeedSigner. Finally, we'll do our first power-up of the SeedSigner and familiarize ourselves with the device interface. So first, we're going to go to SeedSigner's website and download the software for the SeedSigner. So I'm going to open a new tab, go to seedsigner.com, and there we're going to click download the latest release. It opens GitHub, and then we're going to scroll down to assets. And here we're going to choose Pi 0 because this is the version of the Pi that we use. So I'm going to download it to my downloads and then download the signature files. So I already have them, but I'm going to download them anyway. And then I'm going to open my download folders. And then I'm going to put them onto my desktop. Now that we have downloaded the software and the signature files, we're going to verify the software's integrity. And for that, we have a nice little trick, which is using Sparrow Wallet to verify SeedSigner's software. It makes things much easier. So we're going to open Sparrow. And there, we're going to go in Tools, Verify Download, Browse, and on our desktop, we're going to select SeedSigner. It automatically detects all the files, and it verifies that it is signed by SeedSigner and that it is ready to install. So this is great. We can close it. And it's now ready to be flashed on our micro SD card. To flash the firmware, we're going to use the same software that we used to flash Ubuntu on the USB stick. We're going to use Balena Etcher. So I open the app image, and it opens the software. So we're going to select the file, which is on our desktop. It is SeedSigner OS. And then we have to select the target. For now, we haven't inserted the SD card yet, so this is what we're going to do now. So this is one of the 3 SD cards that we have in our setup. We will flash only this one because we're going to use this one to generate the seeds, the passphrase, and create the wallet from them. We won't need to flash the 2 other ones because they will stay in the recovery packages, which means that they'll stay untouched for many, many years. And the software will probably have changed a lot by then. So it's not that interesting to flash the software onto them. So now I'm going to insert it like this. As you can see, I have a port for my micro SD card. If you don't have a port, you can use an adapter or an SD card reader, which you will find in the description below the video. So I have now inserted the SD card. I can select the target, and as you can see, it is right there. It is 8 gigabytes, which is more than enough for the SeedSigner firmware, which is very, very tiny. So I'm going to select it and then flash, just like we did for Ubuntu. It asks for my password, and then it is starting. As you can see, it takes much less time than Ubuntu. As I said, the firmware is very, very, very tiny. And that's it. It has successfully flashed the SD card. It's unmounted it, so we can just take it out. That's it. It is flashed, and we'll now plug it into the SeedSigner. Now that we have the SD card ready with the SeedSigner firmware flashed on it, it's time to power on our signing device for the first time. So first, we're gonna insert the SD card inside the SeedSigner. Like this. As you can see, this is another model that was already assembled. It's not very much different from the one we assembled previously. So what we're going to do next is connect the SeedSigner to the electricity. What we want to do is use a power bank because we absolutely do not want to connect it to a computer, for example. So this is why we use a cable, a power bank, and we just connect it from the power bank to the SeedSigner, which is what we're gonna do next. And you can see that it automatically powers on with the latest firmware of the SeedSigner. So as soon as the firmware is loaded from the SD card onto the device, you can remove the SD card. That ensures that no seed or passphrase or any kind of information is stored on the SD card. So this is very, very practical and very, very secure. So now we're gonna go through the SeedSigner interface. As you can see, you can scan. So if I click scan with this button, it starts the camera. So it's a bit dark here, so you won't see the camera acting, but this is how it works. So as you can see, the camera is inverted because the firmware is now made for newer versions of this model. So what you can do is go to settings and then go to advanced and then to camera rotation and go to 0 degrees. As it is memoryless, you'll have to do this every time you power on the SeedSigner. So this is just to show you how you do that. Then you can go in seeds, and this is where you can load a seed or create a new seed, which is what we're gonna do in the later sections. Once you have loaded a seed or created a new one, you can then scan an unsigned transaction and sign it with the SeedSigner and then display it again back to your wallet interface for it to be broadcasted. If you go in tools, this is where you can also create a new seed with a picture, for example. And so this is when you get entropy for the seed creation from the camera because it has a lot of noise, it's very low quality, so you can use it to create a seed. So if I accept this picture I just made and use it to create a 12 words seed, it creates a seed out of this entropy. Now, it displays a caution word of advice, which is to never input your seed into a device that connects to the internet. So I understand that, and then you can see that it displays the 12 words of your new seed. And then you can verify your backup by verifying every word, or you can just skip, and then you can see there is a new fingerprint that was created for this seed. So every time you load the seed, it displays the fingerprint and you can verify that you have correctly entered your seed. And then you can also load a passphrase on top of it, which is the modifier that creates a brand new seed out of the first one for added security and complexity. So once you have that, you can scan a partially signed Bitcoin transaction. You can export the XPub, which is the public key that you will export to your wallet management interface for it to retrieve transactions, addresses, and things like that. You can also back up the seed, and you can as well discard the seed. So if you choose to discard the seed, it will display a new message that will tell you that if you wipe the seed from the device, you need to have a backup. In my case, we've just created this one to explain how it works, so we're just gonna discard it. And that's mostly it. It's a very simple hardware piece of hardware that is that's only purpose is to create seeds, load them into the wallet, and then sign transactions. That's mostly it. So we're gonna use this little device further in the course. We'll use it to generate the seeds, the passphrase, and then export the public keys to create the wallet. And then we'll use it to sign transactions as well. So that's it. So what we'll do now is just unplug it. It powers off. We'll keep the SD card into the SeedSigner, that way we don't lose it. It's already in there. We can just plug it back into the power bank when we need it, and it's gonna power on again. And it's completely memoryless, so it doesn't store anything on the SD card and on the device. We've just downloaded and installed the firmware for our signing device, the SeedSigner. We now have a fully functional DIY offline signing device ready to be used. We'll start using it in the next section. Good job for now.